Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday, September 18th. I want to say Happy New Year, Happy Rosh Hashanah to all my Jewish friends out there. Yeah, Happy New Year. All right, we had a rough week in the market, but like I told you, the tax flows. I had a lot of you people on here saying, that stuff is crap, that stuff is no good, that's a waste of time, you're wasting your time. I'm telling you something. You are wasting your time. You're just taking pot shots. You don't know what you're doing. You're guessing. It's a crapshoot with what you guys are doing. This is science. This is understanding what basic conditions are going to be like, and when you know what basic conditions are going to be like, you can strategize, you can make money. This is about mental game. This is about being disciplined. This is about having the mental fortitude, the mental toughness to see it through. Now, mid-July, I said we were looking for a fiscal cliff. I got bearish. Then shortly after that, I said there was no fiscal cliff. Now remember, the fiscal cliff was based on taxes coming due and also the end of that $600 a week weekly unemployment benefit. So I had anticipated seeing a significant slowdown in spending, government spending, and when it didn't happen, I said, market's going back up. And that's exactly what happened. It went back up. And then recently, I guess about 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I said, something? These corporation income taxes, they're starting to drift down. And then they went negative year over year. And that was an indication, a very good indication, that we were seeing a slowdown in the economy, because corporation income taxes are directly linked to corporate profits. So when those start to go down, you could pretty much be certain that we're having a slowdown in the economy. And if that happens, stocks go down. When the economy is expanding, stocks go up. Now, it's not all spread out equally, as I've said so many times, but if you understand what basic conditions are, you could strategize. You can make money off of that. This is not about predicting where the market is going to go. It's about predicting basic conditions. Just like I said, the dollar is going down. I stuck with that view because the underlying fundamentals of the dollar are bearish. So what do you do in that situation? You sell rallies in the dollar. And that's going to continue to be the reality until those fundamental conditions turn around. All right? There's a lot of money to be made. A lot of money to be made on these big trends. Now, I think the weakness in the economy, it has nothing to do with any slowdown in the fiscal. Actually, the fiscal has been extremely strong. It's been record-breaking. The year-over-year increase now, 1.8 trillion. That is unbelievable. Total spending at around 6.7 trillion. So that is huge. So the money's flowing in. But I think, as I've been saying, that people are spooked. Businesses are spooked. There are many reasons for it out there. The resurgence of COVID, the election, the fires that we just had out west, the hurricane that we just had in the Gulf. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for it, and I think people are just pulling back a little bit. Firms are pulling back a little bit out of caution. I think eventually, the clouds will lift and this thing will take off to the races again. But this might persist all the way into the election. And I could see a scenario where Trump loses and the market goes crazy maybe for one day on the downside, and then it becomes a massive buy. And I say that because in spite of whatever Biden is saying right now, the fiscal is not going to be coming down very much, if at all. And it may even go up from here, even in a new administration. And that's huge. That's huge. You better get used to these levels of fiscal support. Now, this week I talked about the Fed and how, this nonsense and stupidity about keeping rates low to stoke inflation. That is deflationary. I mean, just look at Japan. If zero rate or negative rates were inflationary, Japan would be Zimbabwe by now. But it's not. And it has a very, very strong currency. As a matter of fact, the currency hit the highest level in 3 years today. So I mean, that they have that all wrong, but that is classic institutional central bank thinking. It's nuts, it's stupidity, it's like mythology, it's their, false paradigm that they live in, and they're not going to change. But what you have going on is massive fiscal support. Look at what's happening in commodities. Look at soybeans. Soybeans at a 3-year high right now. Why? Because we're exporting all our bounty of soybeans right now, because of massive fiscal support, because of weather incidents. Possibly the same thing you're going to see with oil. We're now exporting our excess of oil. Remember all that talk about energy independence? And, we're going to open up the Arctic for drilling, and we're going to open up protected lands for drilling. Well, for what reason? To export that bounty off for the benefit of foreigners to consume. We're not saving that surplus of oil. We are shipping it away. So, I mean, commodities are really, really interesting right now. As for gold, you know the story. Same story. Massive fiscal support. You got Fed policy, which, by the way, is negative for gold. In spite of everything you hear, it's negative for gold, folks. Let me tell you something. If we didn't have this fiscal support going on right now, gold would be crashing with the zero rate and the negative rates and the monetary policy that is in effect right now, not just here, but everywhere. Gold would be crashing if it wasn't for the fiscal. It's the fiscal that's keeping it up, and it's going to stay up. It's going to be a slow, steady move higher. I don't know how much higher from here. You would need, I think, a new acceleration in the fiscal flows to get it really going into the mid-2000s. But I think we could test the highs again, and we'll see what happens when it does that. I don't know, man. I don't know how many times to repeat this. People, a lot of you think, you're going to stare at some lines on a chart. A lot of you are looking to avoid discomfort in any way, shape, or form possible, that you think there's some easy route, that you're looking for the system fairy that's going to take you to where you want to go, which is going to be success as a trader. You got to learn to endure discomfort. You got to commit to things. You have to ascertain what the basic conditions of the economy are. All of that, well, the latter anyway, comes through an understanding of MMT. It's an understanding of these fiscal flows that I talk about every single day here on this channel. There is nothing more, what's the term? I mean, there is nothing more influential on economic trends and economic conditions than these flows. This is not about looking at data from 30 days ago and saying, oh yeah, industrial production was, whatever it was a month ago, so yeah, it's going to be this. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to know what the driving forces of basic conditions are, and that's these flows, which is the core of my analysis. Nobody else does this. Nobody else does this. And of course, it's the mental game. I've said this a million times. I could throw darts at a dartboard because I have the mental game. I've developed it over 40 years of trading. It's all about that. I mean, all success is about that. It's about being able to push through in the difficult situations. It's having confidence in what you do. How do you get confidence? You get confidence from your successes. As the amount of your successes build up, that gives you confidence. It gives you confidence to ride through periods when things are not going in your favor. But it takes commitment, and it takes the ability to endure, and it takes the ability to resist, that stress and that adversity and feeling discomfort. And a lot of you are just seeking some easy way to try to get there quick, you know, the quick method of getting there, get rich fast schemes. Somebody's selling a little, technical analysis system. Somebody's pitching some other thing here. You know, the get rich quick schemes, options. I'm going to make a fortune in 2 weeks trading options. It's not how it works. No major fortune on Wall Street, if you talk to anyone, and I've been there a long time, has been made that way. Believe me. All right, everybody. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you here next week. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.